Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, from wherever you're joining from. First things first, happy International Women's Day. I hope you all are having a blast. I know some of us are somewhere enjoying having a nice time. I wish I could be in Cameroon now to really feel the feminine energy. But for those who are having a blast, right? Please enjoy for both of us. Enjoy for both of us. So, what's new? No one is watching. And for those who are going to watch later on, happy International Women's Day in arrears. Now, 1 second. Let me get myself ready. Please join in wherever you are. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm kind of short of words now. Nobody's watching, but I know you watch later. I keep repeating myself. So, my name is Bongo-Awah, and I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to be sharing this journey with you. I've been going through this kind of solo, but now I am happy that I've got the energy and the confidence. I've developed it so far so I can share my journey with you. 2 weeks ago, I shared of how I started in tech from a non-tech background. Last week, I shared on how what recruiters like to see on your resume. You can check the channel. All of those recordings are available. And today, what are we going to talk about? Today, I'm going to talk about how I'll start tech all over again in 2026, knowing all what we all know. So, if you yourself could go back and start all over, just start time travel to whatever year you started in tech, how will you go about it? Hi, Crypto Duchess. Welcome. Happy International Women's Day. I'm sorry, I need to interrupt. Cut this call. Oh my God. I hope you all are having a nice time. My mom keeps interrupting. I'm live, Mama. If you can see me, I'm live. My phone is linked to my laptop. So, yeah. Now, let's start all over. How would you start tech? Would you start by taking certifications? Would you start by learning new tools? Would you start with fear? How will you start tech? So, I'm going to share 10 steps I will take if I want to start all over, or if I were to start all over. It applies to anyone, no matter the journey you are on. If you're starting all over in any field, these steps are relatable. You can use them instead of putting tech, putting the tool or the career path that you want to follow. Now, the first step I will take is I will do a radical audit. Radical audit. What does that mean? I will see the things as they are. I wouldn't exaggerate it or underplay it. Don't make it worse. And don't just say, oh no, it's no issue. It is an issue. How will I do that? What are the steps you need to take to do a radical audit? The first thing I'll do is where am I right now? I'll write it down, ask myself these important questions. Where am I right now? In my career, in my income, in my skills, in my confidence, in my family situation, in my health. Analyze that because all of those aspects play a great role in whatever path you want to take. Radical audit. What I said, not just audit, but radical, which means that you need to be serious. Take it as if your life actually depends on it. Take it seriously. Buy a diary and write, where am I right now? Then step two, the second no no second point under step one. What am I currently focused on that isn't serving me? What am I focused on that is serving me? Ask those questions. Where is your focus? Do you even know where you're focused on? That's what you should take before you, that's what you take stock of before you start the journey. Now, the third point under step one is, what am I avoiding facing? What are you avoiding? Because sometimes we are avoiding something, but our brain derails us from it. They say, oh, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about that. When we get to that bridge, we shall cross it. Yeah, right, you will cross it. But will you cross it in the most optimal, efficient way you would have if you would have taken stock of it? So stand in front of a mirror, like do like a mental undressing everywhere, analyze every part of your life, internally and externally. Are you ready for that journey? Radical audit. Nobody is going to be ashamed of you because you are doing that so you should not miss any blind spot. Yeah, there will be blind spots, but at least you took an audit in the beginning before you went on the journey. So radical audit is step one. Now, step two is, after taking the audit, you might find out some nasty things about yourself or some very good things about yourself. Either way, you're going to find some interesting things. You're going to know yourself better. And when you know yourself better, what's the next thing? Step two. Why? Why are you doing this to your life? And let me give you a hint. Your why should not be money. I always say that we need money, yeah, but their why should not be money, because at one point it is difficult to know when you have had enough. Because money is a very tricky thing. Money, you can have billions, but still we have billionaires taking away their lives because the fulfillment is not there. So yeah, why money is a byproduct, but money should not be the end goal. It's a byproduct. What is your why? And this is how you can take to know what your why is. One thing you can say, what problem in the world breaks your heart? What problem breaks your heart? And how will you learning this skill or going into this career path help you, give you the armor to solve that problem? How are you going to heal the world and make it a better place? You get the gist, right? So that's how you take to define your why, a very big why. And the why should be bigger than you because it should be the world oriented. It should be leaned towards service. Your why should be in the direction of service. How do you serve? How do you make sure that you're the best version of yourself so you can serve people better? So that should be step two. Because when you know that you're going to serve somebody, you say, oh my God, the world is depending on me. They are waiting on me to come with this skill. They are waiting on me to be this person. And I have taken my radical audit. Now, why? Also, another reason is like, what are you doing this for? Who are you doing it for? For me, it was my kids, my family, to serve people as well. My biggest why was that Africa is like the giants. I want to be able to have an impact on those that are struggling with what I have found a solution to. Then, what would your life look, feel like, and smell like in 3 years if you got this right? Just imagine that you really had this right? Because we're really good at fantasizing. I'm a very big fan of that fantasizing. Oh my God! In 3 years, I used to tell my girls this. Oh, we shall be flying here, flying there. We'll do this, we'll do that. When you do that, your why increases, your why amplifies, and you feel joyful. You feel accomplished. Your imagination has taken you places that you just need to just walk backwards. and make it a reality. Now, step three, what I will do is I will take an honest inventory. What do I already have? This one goes mostly to people that have already built a career in a different field and they feel called. They have taken the radical audits and they have a big enough why. Now, the fear is, or most people just think that you just go and start from zero. No, you're not going to start from zero. What do you already have? Right? This is saying that life is a wheel. You cannot manage what you don't measure. So take inventory. What do you already have? If you are in a communication industry, you say, okay, I want to get into tech. My superpower is I can communicate. So I can start with technical writing, write good documentation, can be good at communicating. People need good communicators. So you already have that. So that's a plus. That's what you already have. Stakeholder managers, managers like people that can communicate the right things. Tell me what it is in fewer words, the consequences and what we can do. Communicate that because they don't have time for you to be dabbling up and down. Just communication is a plus for you. If you are somebody that you're in numbers or analysis, you can say that, okay, I already have that. Let me go into data. You'll be good at optimization, talking about cost management, FinOps, so also a very good field in tech. Now, I came from a background in banking and economics, so I knew that I already understood the business value. What I needed were the technical skills, but the why, I knew the why, and I knew what I already had. So I wasn't starting from zero. I had a lot of things that I had already accomplished. So let's go now to step four. I will look at, okay, I've done these three things. The next thing will be like, what is next? The external reality check. What's the world saying about this? How is the external market? How is the job market? You know, last year, AI engineering was like, people want to be an AI engineer, prompt engineering, all of those things. How can you combine those roles? What's thriving? What's dying? What's irreplaceable? I need to know all of that, or I want to know all of that. I'll do my research to find out that I know all of those skills. I know what it takes. So, because, and the biggest thing now is AI. AI has come and it has destabilized people. Disruption. The world of AI is this. The world is the disruption. AI didn't close the door on tech careers. What it did is that it changed the lock. Very interesting, right? Knowing your why is very important. Not just how, but why. When you know that why, all of these things are just an addition. You have to know what you're up against. Because if you know your why, no matter how difficult it is or how challenging it is, you're going to get there. So, what are the external variables? What's the public saying about this, and that? I have to note it and know where I will position myself. How do I come into this? Where do I find my place? This is it. You notice that we haven't talked about any skills now, right? We're just talking about the things that you step you're going to take before you start learning anything. Do all of this. Now, step five, I will do what? I will define my niche. Some people think that tech is unilateral. No, there are several branches in the tech field. So, what area of tech is yours? What do you think? How will you fit into tech? Tech is not just about coding and the rest. There are a lot of things that come in the tech world. So, if you are something like a banking, like me, so they feel like me, you can do most things. I could be a solutions architect. I could be a cloud engineer. I could be a data analyst. I could be a fintech in FinOps, all of those things, I could fit into it. So I needed to know what alternatives or what are my chances out there. If you are a people person or a teacher, you can think of tech education. That's an aspect of tech that can fit into you. You can think of AI training. You can think of being a developer relation, dev real. That's what they call them nowadays. Can just become an advocate because you are a teacher, you know people, talk about the tools, you are in tech. So know those things, know define your niche because it's very important. How do you fit into this whole bubble, this whole big thing called tech? Where is you? Where's your corner? Define it and own it. If you're creative, if you're in the creative or designer, look at UI UX designing, look at prompt engineering. So there are a lot of things, transferable skills that you can use. We talked about transferable skills last week, but this time around, if I'm starting over, those are one of the things that I would love to analyze. I will analyze it and fit it into my niche. Now, then I'll go to step 6, the non-negotiables. We all know that there are a lot of things, right? The day your to-do list never comes to an end. So what do you have to do? Ask the question that what will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if I do this? How does this particular skill or this particular activity fit into my life? There are always 4 aspects. What can I automate? What can I eliminate? What can I delegate? And what can I therefore automate, delegate, eliminate, and non-negotiables. The things that you must do, you have to know them such that you should not realize them along the way. Some people will just get up and say, okay, I want to learn tech. I've registered here, I've registered there, I've done so many things, but they're not important. What are the important things? List them. Then you have saved yourself time and energy. So, what's the 7th step? Okay, before we go to step 7, let me go to a little bit of example here. My non-negotiables. For example, if I want to do DevOps engineering, there are some non-negotiable skills. I won't just start by doing a project, by learning cloud computing, which is good. What do I start from? If you want to become a DevOps engineer, 80% of your learning time should be dedicated to the foundation, which is what? Linux. Start everything with Linux. We'll talk about that later when we're going deeply into it. Why? Because it is in almost everything you do, you must know how to interact with the back end. You must know how to interact with your team, which are often international. 10% of the learning time, if I were to learn tech all over again, 10% of my learning time will be invested in AI tools and integration. Because that's a multiplier. That's something that I can leverage. I have to know how it works. Because most companies nowadays, they provide that for their employees. Because AI is going nowhere. So there's this saying that I've said it so many times. You either know, they say AI will not replace you, but you'll be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. So 10% of your learning time should be invested in knowing how the AI works and which tools are actually needed in your domain, in where you've defined your niche, where your niche is. If you want to be a DevOps engineer or cloud engineer, whatever you want to be, what are the AI tools? What kind of agents are you using? Or what AI, 10% of your time invested in knowing how it works so you can leverage it and it will act as a multiplier. Then I will know where networking, 10% of my time should be used. I'll be using in networking. I did that in 2021 when I started LinkedIn. I started learning. I created my GitHub repository. I I wanted to be on Medium, but it was a little bit too tricky. But I left that. I went to dev.to. I was active on these three platforms. Whatever I did, I turned it into a story and I said, how will this benefit a business? That's what I will do. So, step 7 is the non negotiables. I want that my public 10% of your time, no matter what you do, even up to date, I still find time to network because I have to meet many people, a lot of people that I admire. So, I find time to network to make sure that the right people see me and I meet the right people so I can leverage those skills. Now, 0% of your time should be spent chasing every new tool because a new thing will always come up. Last week or this week, even, they were talking of how, no, yeah, Claude took over. People are transferring their projects from ChatGPT into Claude. Yeah, that's nice. Transfer your way. What did ChatGPT do? He also brought in a new model. So the competition is high. Maintain what you are good at. Be consistent with the tools. Learn here and there, but make sure that where you are, focus on it. Choose 3 tools. I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT, I used to use Claude, but now I've reduced the way I use it. So choose the tools and stick to it. Don't follow any shiny thing, every shiny thing, because you're wasting time. So the surest way to burn out and go nowhere, the surest way to burn out and go nowhere is to always follow shiny tools. You go nowhere because you always be mesmerized. Oh, this is good, this is good. But you're not seeing the shortcomings of those tools. Again, I digressed. Now, let's go to step 7. Knowing all what I've said, all the steps, when I get to step 7, what will I do in step 7? I will build a massive action plan. What does that mean to build a massive action plan? You ask yourself that what specific action do I need to take? And what is the outcome I need? Depending on your why that you had defined before. Now, let's go back to when I started. When I started, I was confused. I mentioned that I was confused between should I do Salesforce or should I go for AWS cloud computing. I decided to go for the AWS path. Now, there were a lot of things to do. When you go to the AWS Skills Builder, it's a very interesting site. I'll advise every beginner to visit that, but visit it with structure. Don't just go there and be confused because there are hundreds, if I'm not mistaken, thousands. I'm not sure that, but there are hundreds of courses there. All very interesting, all having a lesson to teach you. But you have to be sure, know what you're doing. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Then you take a massive action plan. My massive action plan was first what? I have to go to the AWS console and finish 3 particular courses that suited my niche. When I finished those courses, I had to document about them. 10% of my learning to documenting. Now, and then I knew that I want to know more about DevOps. What I did was I bought the course and I had a group and I concentrated. I did not move the left and the right. Now it's a little bit harder nowadays because you have YouTube and all of those. You have many courses. Learn this for free. Learn here for free. Do this for free. There are a lot and lot of free resources. Some will say 70% reduced, even 95% reduced. Some will say that, oh, I'm giving an offer. Have the course for free. Don't be deceived by all of these free resources. Have a plan, have a massive action plan, and it should be from beginning to end. Define them. What is this tool? This tool I want to learn, how does it fit into my big picture? If it doesn't fit into your big picture, eliminate it. Have an end to end. Why is this important? Why do I need to learn this? How will I use this? If if it answers all of those questions, now is it the right time to learn it? It's another important question. So take an audit, 1 or 2 weeks. Take an audit. clarify everything. All right, I need to learn cloud computing, and cloud computing, the course is 10 hours. So I'll divide this 10 hours every day. I have a 9 to 5 and I have children. Let's say 1 hour per day is a good thing to do. 1 hour per day, how many days? And when I finish learning this course, I have to write down what did I learn from the course, and how would a business company, how will a company like this also know the potential people that need you. Remember, step two, what the world needs from you. What problem are you solving? When you have learned that skill, ask yourself, how does it fit into the problem I'm going to solve? Because it should fit into it. Or it might be like a process. Let's say something is like it's a work in progress. So it is part of a bigger solution. If you know that, you say, okay, I'm learning Terraform because it's an infrastructure as code. If I learn Terraform, it means that it will save me time for me to be creating every resource over and over again. So you have to just set the model, create the model so you can always like use it in your infrastructure. That is an irreplaceable. It's a non-negotiable. As a DevOps engineer, you need to know infrastructure as code. So learning that is a very good thing. Now, know the platforms that you will learn on. Don't be well. For me, I prefer to be in one place at the same time. Learn here, be on Udemy, buy this course. Why is this course important? Learn it from 0 to 100. Then I know the skills. I say, okay, this is why I'm learning this course. Now, that's the massive action plan. When you have learned the course, you're focused on the tool, you know why the tool is important, you build now in public. You can say, okay, this is the tool I learned. I don't know about you, but me, I like to tell people my story. I like to tell you what I did and digress a bit and say, okay, be a little bit human in my talking, in my writing. Say, yeah, as a mom of this, I don't know, maybe I'm playing the mom cartoon too. I don't think I am, but that's who I am because I'm still now. Use your life, use your experience, use all of who you are to present yourself professionally online. When you're talking, the 10% we are reporting about a skill, let it be wholesome because people, I said that energy never lies. People understand that and they know when something is genuine. So for you to be all that you want to be, have a massive action plan. Okay. Now, I'll go now to step 8. Step 8 is how to use AI as a creativity and intentional tool. That's step 8. I don't know how to overemphasize the importance of knowing how to use AI. It's a bonus for those learning tech now because if you customize your AI, if you customize the tool for it to know you, know how you think, know your writing pattern, know your long and short term goals, isn't that a bonus? Because it thinks how many times, maybe thousands of times faster than we do. So I will know how to use AI. I've already personalized AI for my own personal good, know how to use it, know how to contextualize your questions, and know how to continuously improve, continuously be the better version of yourself. I will learn how to, if I were to go back to learn tech with all that I know today, and if all of these services were also available, I'll understand large language models, LLMs. I'll understand APIs, application programming interface. I'll understand what those means. I'll understand what those mean, sorry. I'll understand what an agent is and what an agent does. You don't need to know how to build them. All you need to do is to know how to understand them and direct them and how to use them. I understand how to prompt. There are 5 steps to prompting. That's a total different thing that I might talk about later. Understand how to prompt. I'll understand that prompting. There's something I call prompt engineering. It's not a career path. Prompt engineering is a necessity. Everyone should know how to prompt such that you should not have ambiguous results at the end. Be specific in what you want to do. And for those going deeper, like for the data analyst, understand vector databases, agent frameworks, pipelines. I don't need those, so I don't bother about them. I just want to know if I need you in my career, I'm going to learn how to use you. If I don't need you, I might just, for conversational purposes, know what the tool does, but don't waste my time on it because time is precious. We have a lot to do, right? Now, step 9 will be what? To measure, how to measure my growth and my progress. If you're learning, now and then there's always the assessment, right? Take an assessment. What have you learned so far? How will you implement this? So I always had a book where I'll write questions. What is an S3 bucket? And what is it used to do? Without an S3 bucket, what will happen? So taking the analysis, measuring my growth. And like something that we always thought that it was cram work. You look at something and then you turn around, you try to memorize a thing. But nowadays, memorizing something is not going to help. You have to know how to apply them. How does it apply? And to measure progress, certification is a good way to go to measure progress. You can say, okay, in 5 weeks, I should be ready to take a certification. Then that's already a timeline you're giving yourself that in 5 weeks, I should be ready to take the certification and you're prepared for the certification. So as a timeline, and if in those 5 weeks you are not ready, ask yourself, why aren't I ready? What happened? Keeping yourself accountable is very important in this journey. There is no time to sit and have a lot of excuses. Excuses are valid, but not in the marketplace. They're valid just to you. Nobody cares if whatever happened to you happened. But you have to prepare yourself to come to the market, prepare to solve people's problems. Your problems are yours and yours alone. No one else is interested unless they're a family member or you're paying them to listen to you. So make sure that you can measure progress such that you should not fall back and have a lot of things to say about why you did not meet up. Now, visibility milestones. That's another way of measuring progress. They'll go online and say that, oh, for the give them a promise that I'm going to finish this in 6 weeks. So some people will hold you accountable. What I love sometimes is when somebody comes online and says that, oh my God, I've already applied or registered for the certification. It's valid. I'm going to take it in August or on the 15th of May. And people are waiting. You told us that you will take the certification. Oh yeah, what are the results? So that's you're measuring progress in the public eye. Now you must also say that, oh, in 3 months, I would like to present about this tool. And that's my favorite. I'm like, if I don't know something, or if I'm not confident enough about something, I go and present about it. I go and teach it. And when I teach it, when I know that I'm learning to go and teach it, I learn better or I'm more accountable. So that's what I would do. Measure growth. Measure growth and progress. And don't measure it to yourself, measure it in the public's eye. And be very humble about it because some people can be very mean online. Tell them that I'm doing this, but please, I'm open to feedback. Say, I built this. I don't know. Does anyone have a better idea? You see, people like to help. People like to help when it's we're humans. That's our first instinct to serve. Yeah. So I will do that. I will learn in public. And I will fail in public. So, and step 10, the 10th step I will do is I'll position myself to solve a real problem. You say that, huh? How does that work? How will I know that I'm solving a real problem? It means that you have to do a project and a real life project. Go online, use AI and say that what give me the 10 real life problems that companies face based on what you know about me. If you have already personalized yourself based on what you know about me, because I want to become a cloud engineer, I want to become a FinOps strategist, based on what you know about me, give me 10 real life problems that companies face. And how would the solution look like? Then you go and build that solution. Solve a real life problem. And because that's when you know that you're ready for the market. That's when you know that you're ready. That's when you know that your value just went up. Because most people always ask that, what's a use case? Who have you helped before? Right? Tell us some success stories. That's what is asking here indirectly. What are the success stories? If you don't have any success story because you are still learning, find one. Go and say that 3 years ago or last year, this company had this problem. And these are three different ways that this problem can be solved. And you actually do the work from A to Z. You do the work. So these are the 10 steps that you need to know that I would follow if I were starting all over again. And if you realized the things that differ, the difference between these steps and what I did is that by then AI was just a future. Now AI was not as intense and as irreplaceable as it is right now. It was just a future. Now the tools have changed dramatically, but the fundamentals are the same. Just the tools have changed. I think that, as I said, don't be following every new shiny tool. Understand why that tool exists and how this new tool is better than the previous one. If it's just an equal replacement, stick to the one that solves your problem the easiest and that is still valid in the market. Because there's some companies that are old school, they want the things that have always been working for them. Now, let's look at the tools that haven't changed since 2021 and they are not still to change in the next 5 to 10 years. The permanent skills. One, Linux. Some people call it Linux. Every server, cloud instance, and container runs on it. So, as I said before, I'll spend 80% of my learning time perfectioning my skills. I still do that. That sometimes I still go and say, what is this command again? Because Linux is going nowhere. So learn Linux if you want to be a DevOps engineer, if you want to also be a cloud engineer or a cloud platform engineer. Linux is the first skill you need to be mastering. The second tool is what? Networking fundamentals. How data moves hasn't changed. You still have all of those layers. There's 7 layers. I can't name them now because sometimes you need to like know where to find them. Don't so yeah, I'm not the type that will store those layers in my brain. But know that they exist and how to learn them and apply them when you need them. Networking fundamentals. The third skill that hasn't changed and is going nowhere is Git. 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 I'm speaking now at the level of DevOps and cloud platform engineering for version control. Every team on earth still uses Git for version control. If your team is international, even if you're staying living, working in the same place, you still need Git to communicate with teams. And the fourth and the best for me, systems thinking. Systems thinking, how you understand and interact with components. Because systemic thinking is very important. You have to know the different steps. You can't skip a particular step and you must know where to branch from that step. And if you branch from the step, how do you get back and be in accord with one? Systemic thinking is one of the best aspects of humans. It's going nowhere. You must know how to think in systems. Creativity, creative thinking is a tool that is going nowhere. It's a skill even. So the next is what? Security mindset. With in the age of AI, you have to always have your systems secured and locked down. Have different layers of security because if it's being breached, we have seen online what happened. So it's going nowhere. How to debug and solve problems is also a skill that's going nowhere. Because AI can provide the best solution for you. If you don't understand it, it's always to help you. You might just be lucky that when you run it, it runs perfectly. But when it doesn't run perfectly, you have to understand that what went wrong and how can I solve that. AI can create bugs that it can't explain itself. So we have to know that. We have to know how to assess that. We have to know how to debug that, how to solve that problem. And the next one that's going nowhere is communication and documentation. AI can also write you good documentation, but sometimes what AI does is that it provides standardizations, but your system uses something different. So it's not everything, every documentation format that it provides that you should follow. There's this scenario at work that I was like, okay, let me ask AI how to document this. It just gave me the standard. Ah, at least then I was smart enough to say that, but we don't use this step. It's not in our systems. So which means that I'm there to eliminate that, take it away, manually say that, no, this line is not needed. This is not needed. Can there be mistakes made? Yes. Which means that you have to be sure that you are irreplaceable then to go through your work that AI has provided for you. And you must be able to read. It might sound tricky, yes, but reading is going nowhere. We have to be patient enough to read documentation from beginning to end. AI can summarize it for you, but still, you might need to go and read the whole documentation again to be sure that an important step wasn't skipped in the summary. Now, how would you learn AI or use AI? Or let's say that involve AI in your career path today. If we're starting all over today, how would you do that? Let me go back again as a summary. Let's talk about the skills for newcomers and transitioners if you want to learn DevOps, if you want to come into tech in the DevOps. It applies to DevOps engineer, cloud engineers, and mostly anyone that wants to be in the tech space and understand how a computer works and how to interact with it the best way possible. These are the layers that I would like recommend. And the layers, you have to keep repeating them. You have to keep refreshing your knowledge. It's not as if once done, you're done forever. No, you have to keep refreshing your knowledge. Now, layer one are the foundationals. You remember I told you about the non-negotiables. These are part of the non-negotiables. One, Linux and command line. That's what I tell all my mentees. then Linux. I know it's frustrating. I know that the course is thick and bulky, but please be patient enough to go through it. Learn networking. You have to know how data moves, the DNS, the HTTP, the IP, the TCP, all of those know how data moves. Understand how it moves. Then you have to know Git and Git control. Now I'm just repeating myself. Layer two, after learning those foundational models that are not cloud related, those are the basics that don't have anything to do with the cloud. Then layer two is to learn now cloud computing. What cloud provider will you use? How will you um, uh, um, um, provide those services over the internet now? Cloud computing. Do you want to go for AWS, the giant now, or you want to go for Google or Azure or IBM, or maybe the company that you are working for or you intend to work for have provided their own cloud solution. So, but which they don't often differ so much from each other, but it's a good thing to know. Two, cloud principles. Know how a virtual machine works. Know how to create an IAM. Know how to secure your machine. Know how to communicate with it, and even get a certification. The basic ones, they are simple to get. It shows recruiters that, oh, you have understood that. And if you're also online, writing about your journey, documenting, creating blog posts, solving real life problems, those methods are going nowhere. That's the way it is done. That's the way it has been done. AI hasn't changed that. AI just made that easier, I could say, and you can scale it, right? You can write one blog post and post it over many channels. That's like scaling it. Now, layer three, learn how to automate. If you are in DevOps, as I'm saying here, you know Kubernetes. You have to understand containers, understand Docker, understand how the pipeline works, the CI/CD pipelines, understand infrastructure, and then you have to know how to monitor. Don't only build it, but monitor it and be able to give a report. Then layer four, then will be what? Integration, AI. How do you bring AI into the mix? As I said, companies now are providing premium AI for their team members, so to make them be faster, not to replace them, but to make them act faster, to increase speed, save time. Use AI as a leverage, as an enhancer, not as a replacement. So layer four is how to integrate AI at all levels. Personally, any person on this earth should know how to use AI. And it has been used in all walks of life, in all areas. I heard a recent that the Pope, I don't know how far this is true, but that the Pope like warned or told the priest not to use AI to write the eulogies. So that's how far AI went, you know. So AI is going nowhere. Even in the religious realm, it's being used there now. Layer five is my favorite, the human layer. Let me come closer. The human layer. That's you and I. What makes you irreplaceable? If you did step one well, radical audit, step two, your why, and step three, the problem you're going to solve, those three steps, they make you irreplaceable. And even if they replace you, maybe it wasn't the right fit for you, go and create your own economy. You are needed. The world needs you, not just that company alone. The world needs you. So, and how do you want to maintain this human level? Learn how to tell stories and communicate. Very important. Building in public and mentorship. Yeah, join us for mentorship. Have a community that you'll be accountable to. I say, oh, I need to do this because I'm accountable to them. This is the power, this is the solution I'm going to provide. And as a human, let me make sure that my humanity is maintained, my importance, the problem I want to solve is still valid and I'm working towards it. So that's what I have planned for you all today for the live session. Tell me in the section, how will you start all over today? And what do you think the blind spots are? Do you have any blind spots? Have you noticed them? If you want to reach out, if you feel like there are a lot of questions you have unanswered, you're still doubting, you're not clear on your process, send us a DM. In the comment section, write to me. I'm everywhere. Write on LinkedIn, find us on our website, reach out, and I bet you we'll help you. There's always space for one more. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for finding the time today to listen in on how I would do tech all over again. Nothing much has changed, as you saw, just AI amplified everything. But I will start by first knowing myself. Now, I intend to do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. So thank you for watching and see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Enjoy your day and remain blessed by the best. Bye.